Are we dismissing Children's Church? While they're headed out, it's my pleasure to introduce to you, and most of you already know Linda. She's been with us. How many years have you been with us now? 4, 5, 6, 7? I don't know. Yes, it's been a while. When did you first get that mobile unit? That first one? Because that was the first. You had just gotten it when you came here the first time. Sorry to put you on the spot.
I thought you were going to be.
Well, not me. All right. Anyway, as I was about to say, it's my pleasure to introduce Linda. She's been volunteering, or I don't know if you're a volunteer. You're okay for CareNet, and she has represented them to our church for several years now. And so she comes to just share with us. We support them on a regular basis. Most of you, I'm sure, know that by now. And she comes just to share and to keep us in the loop of what's happening there. Maybe if you're not as familiar for some reason with CareNet, this is going to be an eye opener for you. But she's going to come right now and share what she wants to share.
Thank you very much. Amen.
Yes, the first time we came, we had our mobile unit, and we had just gotten it. And Ben Edwards, who's, I think what is he now at CareNet? He's vice chair of something. He's always busy at CareNet. And it was so exciting for us to be able to bring this mobile unit. And you guys were so sweet, because you walked in and said, wow, you had the same feel as we did with this mobile unit that came. So it's always my delight to be here. I actually grew up in this church, for those of you that don't know. And so when I come in and walk through these doors, it just brings back so many good memories. My parents met in this church. My dad helped build it. I have lots of sweet memories here. And I told the pastor, my kids in my Sunday school class call this my CareNet church. Because I'll say, once a year, I'll say, oh, you guys, I got to go speak about CareNet. Oh, you're CareNet church. I said, so, yep, I'm at my CareNet church. So it is my pleasure to be here. Every January, we begin what's called Souls Sunday, Sanctity of Human Life Sunday. And actually, we have speakers pretty much January, February, March, going out and sharing the ministry of CareNet. And for those of you who don't know, Sanctity of Human Life Sunday started with Ronald Reagan in 1984. He proclaimed it such, the third Sunday in January, to bring awareness not only of the abortion issue, but for the battle of life itself. And it had just grown immensely. And it was about that time when myself, as a young teenager, when the abortion issue first took place with Roe v. Wade, I was a senior in high school. And so when Ronald Reagan made that proclamation, it's kind of like a hero in my eyes that this issue, yes, has to be addressed in the United States. And so because of that, CareNet ministry began. And I shared a little bit about that last year. And that is how the ministry began, with men who were so concerned with the abortion issue. And so people always ask me, why did you get involved with CareNet? Well, my husband and I were Christian school teachers at Tacoma Baptist Schools. He was the principal as a first grade teacher. We had been in Christian school ministry for 20 years, and we thought it would be great time in our life to go to the mission field and work with kids on the mission field. And it was during that time, when we weren't working in November, that we got a phone call from a friend of ours. And there was a 15-year-old girl that was about to have a baby, and she decided that she could not keep it. And so Joyce said, we just have prayed about it, and God keeps placing the two of you on our heart. And my husband's response was, Joyce, I'm 42 years old. I'm headed to the mission field. I don't have a job right now. I don't think this is a good time. And the call ended, and she was so upset that we did not say we'll pray about it. And so the next day her husband came out to our house and we began to pray about it. And in a 2-week time, we had to make a decision. Were we really pro-life? Do we really believe that every life has value? And we had CareNet at our Christian school speaking to our students about life in general, about integrity, about physical integrity, spiritual integrity. And so we knew about CareNet. So at 42 years of age, we adopted our son Jonathan, went to the hospital, and he became our son, and he has been a delight. Now he is in his 20s, and I used to think teenagers were rough. Oh, just wait till they get to their 20s. And you're praying all the time. But that is how we became involved in CareNet. So when he went away to college, I wanted my life to be, my pastor gave us a challenge. This was his challenge. Those of you that have grown up in the church, that's me, who your whole life you're around the Christian community, that's me. You're in church every Sunday, that's me. You are involved in your Christian bubble, that was me. How do you get out in the world with the gospel? And I really had to think about that. I taught Sunday school for 50 years. I mean, I shared the gospel, but I was not out in the world. I was not that light that God calls us to be. So it challenged me, and so CareNet was my avenue of reaching out to people with the gospel of Jesus Christ, with my heart for life. And so I'm here today to share with you the ministry of CareNet. So we can start that, John. So CareNet is one of two largest crisis, as Pastor said it was, a crisis pregnancy center with Heartbeat International. And we were founded in 1975. And this is the key I want people to understand about CareNet. It is a pro-abundant life ministry. And when I say that because our CEO talks about John 10:10, where Jesus says he came not to give us life, but rather abundant life. Yes, we are a ministry, CareNet, because our heart has a passion for the unborn. But it goes beyond that. It's not just physical life that we want, and we do. We want eternal life in our clients and those that we reach out to. So that is why it is so important to understand this ministry is an arm of the church. We cannot operate apart from the church. And so on Sanctity of Human Life Sunday, we're out to 75 churches, and we're speaking that Sunday the importance of life, but eternal life. It's our time to share the gospel. And when I started working at CareNet, I shared the gospel throughout my life, but never have I in these past 10 years at CareNet in situations that I never would have been placed if I had stayed in my Christian home. And so we at CareNet have 6 brick and mortar buildings and 2 mobile units. And I'm going to talk about those mobile units a little bit later. But some people have asked, well, since Roe v. Wade, are you really needed? Oh boy. Since Roe v. Wade, abortions in Washington State are on the rise. And one of the reasons why our state has opened wide its doors for anybody who wants an abortion that needs one. We are so anti-life in this state that it breaks your heart. We had over 20,000 lives were lost to abortion in our state last year. And one of the most difficult things that we need to address is that 63% of those are medical, done with the pill, the abortion pill. 63% of abortions in our state are because of the pill. And if you remember when COVID, how can we forget, when COVID took place and people had to remain home, our government established that you can purchase it online. So it's available to you. And it has remained as such. So a woman in our state can have an abortion through the pill and not even see a doctor. And we realize that group of people is crucial for us to reach out to. And also, over half of the abortions in our state take place in the Puget Sound area. That's because we are the hub of the interstate, what do you call it, computer, Wi-Fi technology. Because of technology, you can tell I was not raised on technology. Technology and the ports that we have, and it just makes it very accessible. And because of that, we have 9 abortion clinics just in that area that service that. And also, it's the highest rate of sex trafficking. And so it makes sense in the world's eyes that you have those abortion clinics there. So we live in this state in a very dark area. And where it is darkest, Christ's light shines the brightest. I was talking to your wife and just said, so many people want to move out of this state. Just get someplace where it's lighter. But if everyone did that, where would the light shine? We are supposed to be a light to the world, not just with the abortion issue, but with all things of life. So CareNet is actually, my director was telling me, we had made a goal of hoping to have so many ultrasounds in a year. We more than doubled that in 2024. We are busier at CareNet this past year, the busiest we've been in 13 years. And so we're realizing, oh, no wonder we're so tired. I mean, it is just hopping at the center. And so, last year, remember, I showed you the building. I wanted to make you visualize, other than Sonia, who's up there all the time, and we're so grateful for Sonia. We love when she comes in. She's our bubbly. She comes in with the bottles, or she's bringing something. You don't get a chance to be up there. And so I thought I would take a typical Thursday night at the center, and I work on Thursday nights there. What goes through, and the people that you guys are supporting. You guys aren't just giving money to a building. You're giving money that the people that volunteer are able to do these things. So I wanted to give that picture to you, but I first want to start with our mission. This is our mission at CareNet. Acknowledging that every human life begins at conception and is worthy of protection, CareNet offers hope by providing compassionate, practical care, accurate information, biblical truth, and life-affirming resources for pregnancy, sexual health and integrity, and abortion recovery. So last year I showed you this sign. This is on Meridian. So a few years ago we purchased this property, and you know how busy Meridian is. I only go on Meridian when I have to go to CareNet. But we have this huge sign that was already there when we purchased this building. So we already have the rights to this sign. This huge sign is right on Meridian. People go by. Hundreds and hundreds of people go by every day and see this sign. Free, confidential pregnancy and STD testing. So crucial. And this is our center. It looks like a house. It's so, we are so blessed with how God provided this. And so when you come to CareNet, our whole theme is hope. And we live in such a hopeless world. And we were just talking about that, about how do people live today without Christ? There's no hope. And so we want to present this hope to our clients. And so in offering hope, this is what we do at the center. And we did start out as a crisis pregnancy center, as the pastor said. But it's not just that, it's the pregnancy testing, the prenatal ultrasounds, and the STD testing for females, and childbirth education, parenting support, which is booming at our center. Pregnancy loss. Now, that's just not for women who've had miscarriages. It's also for women who've had abortions. And when a woman leaves our center and we know they're going to have an abortion, and it breaks our heart, our director always takes her by the hand and said, "We are here for you. whenever you need us. And we have had women come back heartbroken with the decision they made, but their hearts become more open to share the gospel with. As hard as that is for us to take, we know we need to minister to those women. And then prenatal education, abortion, pill reversal. This was taking place a few years ago, where when a woman takes the abortion pill, it's in 2 steps. She takes the first pill, stopping the estrogen that's flowing into her body for that baby. And if we can get her to a doctor in 48 hours, they can actually reverse that process of abortion, I think at 65% now. And so it's become an amazing ministry. And then community education, getting out in the community. I do that a lot with my director. We go out in the community, sharing with anybody who will listen to us about CareNet and what we offer. So let's start with our center. So you go into our center, and this is our lobby area. And in this lobby area, it is I think it's a slide before that, John. Is there one before that?
Not just this one.
Oh, well, I'll go right into that.
Is it
so,
this one?
So this is my, what's that?
Is this the slide you're looking for?
Oh, let's go back. We can go back to the one before that of my boss. So there's my boss. There's Kim. I wanted to take a picture of her, and she's so busy. That's pretty much the best picture I get of Kim. Staring at the computer. She is one amazing woman, and she leads us. And I was telling, I can't remember what I was telling here. Just about a month ago, she was on a Zoom meeting with the head nurse of the Bethel School District with 12 of their nurses, sharing what we do at CareNet. And the nurse there is new, head nurse is new. The nurse prior to that was totally against us. She did not want anything to do with CareNet. This nurse is Christian. And she told her nurses, I want my students to know every option. Because obviously the school allows Planned Parenthood. She goes, I want my students to know every option. And so Kim spent an hour sharing with these nurses our ministry and what we do. Because if you hear the news, most people think of crisis pregnancy centers as places that just are interested in saving the baby. They don't care about the woman. That's what we're portrayed out there. That was in the election time. They were mentioning CareNet centers. That's what they do. And Kim shared the vast things that we offer and especially hope to these women. The girl next door to her is Gina. She's our office manager. She sits right behind me. She is our computer whiz. I am so grateful for this woman because in our society, young people deal only with technology and reaching out to them. So you have to be among the brightest to reach them. And so Gina, and so constantly, I told Gina I was going to tell the people this. I'm always saying, oh, Gina, need your help. And she's right over there, but she's our office manager, and we're really grateful for her. Now, I'm sorry, John, I got mixed up. So the next slide, you're right. This is our entryway when you come in, and this is where I sit. My desk is to the right. And when someone walks into the center, we know these are divine appointments. Nobody walks through that door without the Lord's leading or the Lord bringing them there. It is His ministry. We never know who's going to come through that door and what need they have. Our desire is that the love of Christ has to show through us to them. And the way we treat them, the way we greet them. So it's my job when they come into the center to greet them, kind of see the situation. Some are appointments, some are just walk-ins and surprises. And kind of assess what's going on. We've had cases, not in a while, but a case in the past where we knew the young woman in there was with her John, or the man who was ruling over her, and we knew the situation was tense. There's been times when I've seen couples come in, and you can tell one does not want to be here, wants this abortion, wants to get it done, and the other's crying out to us. The saddest case I will never forget was when a mom came in with her daughter and the grandma sat in the center there in the reception area when the daughter and the mom went back, and she was weeping because she knew her daughter wanted her daughter to have an abortion, and that woman kept saying, but that's my great grandbaby that they want to get rid of, and trying to console her and talk with her when she knew the decision was not in her hand, and trying to pray with her and let her know we have to rest it in God's hands. So you never know in that entryway, in that area, what's going to happen. But if I see a situation that might look dangerous or unusual or difficult, it's my job to get it to the next person that's going to take care of him. So a lot can happen in that entryway. And so, like I said, we take it as a divine appointment. And so there's 3 choices that these people come in for. It's either for the medical, or parenting, or material assistance, emergency visits. And so when you come in, this is our medical team, and on Thursday nights. And so this young woman, Elizabeth, that's on the left, she is our our pregnancy advocate. So she'll take a woman who needs a pregnancy test, and she will talk with a woman, and there's all kinds of things that she will address them with. But Elizabeth has to have a soft heart. She's got to be listening to what the woman is saying to her. It's so easy as Christians to want to tell you what they need to know. But we have to be such good listeners. What is she telling us? I appreciate Elizabeth. She's new, she's young. And she has a passion for life. She has 2 little boys. And she had all the advantages of life. And she wants to be there for women who don't. And so she's just been a delight and full of energy and spunk. And she says, I want to be here forever. So and then next to her is Addie. Addie's my dear friend I have known for a long time. In fact, I have robbed her grandchildren, and they are mine. And Addie is a PA in Pure with Sound Family Medicine. And she originally started out with doing her STD testing. And she became burdened about us not having enough nurses to do ultrasounds. So she trained to do that. She's a bulldog with compassion. And she, I don't know, there's something about her that she reaches women in ways that are amazing to me. And there's sometimes I have to go into the ultrasound room when they can't see the baby via just the ultrasound, so they have to do it a different way. And so she needs another person in there. And it's my job to stay completely silent. Well, it's hard for me. But to be completely silent, especially when you're seeing, especially the night I saw twins up there, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, that looks like 2 heartbeats on that machine. And I don't know medicine. And I want to ask something or say something, and I couldn't. And Addie is just so calm. But she has, to me, the hardest job ever. Because when a woman's coming into that room for an ultrasound, and the chart says she's going to have an abortion, Addie, it's so easy for us to take it on ourselves and say, what can I do? What can I do to change this woman's mind? And we cannot. We present truth. And then we have to allow God to work in their heart. And you think, well, that should be easy, letting God do it. We're so human. And thinking God needs help. And we know how to do things better. And Addie has a gift in resting in God. The hardest, though, I felt for her, and I even called her daughter to say, pray for your mom tonight. She had the hardest night. Was when a girl came in, a 17-year-old girl came in, and she's 21 weeks. And she said she's going to have an abortion. And Addie said there was the most beautiful picture of that baby up there. And she said, I could do nothing except pray. And we said, wait a minute. That's the privilege we have to pray for these women. But we've had so many abortion-minded clients in recent years because we have started a new ministry at CareNet, and it's called a nurse chat line. So if you ever get a chance, go online to our CareNet at Puget Sound, and when you click onto it and you have our webpage, in the corner there's a nurse willing to talk to anybody who has a question. And it seems like the majority of those are women who want abortions or whatever. And so they'll chat with the nurse. Their goal is to get them into our center. That is the way we can reach women whose heart is set on abortion. And obviously, we're going to have more abortion-minded clients, and they're not all going to choose life. We used to think that ultrasound was the miracle. And it is a miracle for them to see. But our society is so pro-death, and it's so entrenched in them that if you don't want this baby, it's just easy to get rid of. And so I see our nurses talking about their hearts are heavy this past year, and our directors, because we've seen so many abortion-minded women. But where do you want them to go? To Planned Parenthood? That's their option. We want to come. We want them to come in. They may have an abortion, that doesn't mean we stop working with them. We reach out to them with the gospel of Christ because they're making this decision because they feel like they have no hope, and this is their only way. And so, so if I were asked you to pray for one thing in this next year, is pray for those abortion-minded women that come to our clinic. The fact they come and feel safe coming, that's a praise. We share the gospel. We give them all the tools they need. We have this wonderful magazine called You Decide, the Decision Magazine. Gives them every angle of what's going on. But in the end, it's their choice. And so, yes, if you could pray for our medical team. It's been a hard year for them. But they're standing strong. Obviously, because of that, we've received 50% increase in abortion-minded clients coming in. So that's our ministry, and that's why we're out there. We weren't called to do easy things. God says, if you're following me, it's going to be a rough road. If they hate me, they're going to hate you. And so that's what has been happening on. So the next slide, this is my crew. So this is the crew that I try to help and handle, but I'm not always good at it. Especially if you see those two guys up there. This is our parenting team. Our parenting classes are overflowing, and we have a waiting list of people waiting for parenting classes. This is the actual time when you really develop a relationship with clients coming in to share the gospel, because you have them for 7 weeks, 1 hour each week, not only sharing parenting skills with them, but opportunities to share the gospel. And the girl at the top, that's Jo. Jo and I have been together for 9 years. She was in a really serious car accident right before she came to CareNet. And she was healing, and she wanted a job, but she knew she wasn't capable. Part of it was a brain injury and such. So she came to CareNet and was seeing if it might work out. It's amazing to me, the women that are sent to Jo, God's direction. She seems to get the women, the Muslim women, the Hindu, and she gets these women that are close to the gospel of Christ, but they're coming for parenting classes, and she's soft-spoken. And you immediately know that she cares about you. And if you know anything about the Muslim faith, women aren't highly regarded as much the world says they are. They're not. And often they're in difficult situations. And she shares the love of Christ with them, and they're not opposed with her praying for them. And so she has a delightful ministry there. Now, the guy in the left, sitting at the desk smiling at me, that's Dave. And I'm showing you these people because they're just like you guys. They're just normal people. They're not PhDs, they have teaching degrees and all this. They are just people who love the ministry, are parents who care about parenting, want you to have good parenting skills. And Dave is a realtor, and he has 3 boys and 2 girls. He has one son that we pray for every week who's left the faith. And it's a heart issue with him, and we pray about our sons. And he has a tendency to get single dads or dads who are trying to gain custody rights with their kids that need parenting through the state, or his latest that I just thought was a delight was a young man, and I shared part of this story with some of you when I walked in. We had a school counselor that came and was asking about could we help her with this young boy in her classroom that she found out was a teen dad, and his girlfriend had the baby in his house, but once a week he got the baby and he didn't have anything and didn't have the money to get anything for this baby to come, and can we help him? And well, yes, I mean that is right for our ministry, and we gave things to her. Well, then he ends up teaching this young man parenting skills and parenting classes. And he just seems to get those young boys who just want to be dads, good dads. And he just has a heart, and that's where God keeps sending him, those kind of young men. And of course, he's very guy, and one night I'm helping this girl in the boutique, and I'm looking for Dave, and where is he? And he's outside with the guy that came with the girl, and they're looking at his new tool chest that he got from work. And I thought, you know what? You're building relationships. And I called him and said, Dave, we're still in an appointment here. Oh yeah, we're almost done. They're working on the tools. And then there's Roy there, in the bottom there. Roy came to us a couple years ago. Roy's a foster parent. They have fostered over 50 kids over the years. And he said, if anyone knows the importance of good parenting skills and what happens when you don't have them, he does. He sees the end results. So he's just been a delight, and he has a heart for the ministry. And so I'm really grateful for these 3 people that work with me on Thursday nights. Well, then, one of the other things we do is that we have our boutique. And our boutique is where you come in, and the blankets, we talked about the blankets that some of you make us. They become our ministry's signature piece when a woman has that ultrasound, whether she's going to keep the baby or not. They get to choose a blanket to take home with them. And we tell them these come from people all over that care about you. And that warms their heart. And then also, parenting mentors earn what we call CareNet cash to be able to purchase things in there for their kids. We're trying to teach them budgeting, how to care for their children, and all that stuff is donation. Everything we have is because of the grateful people that love our ministry, and we're grateful for it. Now, last time I was here, I told you about our ultrasound machine, and our van that goes out, our medical van that goes out, and it crashed, and we were praying for a new one. This is our new one. We're excited about this. It goes to, it's our King County mobile unit. It's paid for by gracious donors and churches and businesses, and it's busy on the road, and that was our prayer request, is raising the money for that. Also, in the next slide, we have answers to prayer and prayer requests. So that one on the left is a piece of property we purchased in Port Orchard, and that home is being remodeled for our new CareNet Center in Port Orchard. And so we're excited about that. It's never-ending battle at CareNet, keeping up with things. Because of that, the van on the the mobile unit on the other side, our Bellevue mobile unit, is getting old. It's 18 years old. We're privileged to be able to put that on a free place. So it costs us no place. It stays permanently in Bellevue. Bellevue's expensive to build in.
Yes.
But they need them. They need CareNet there. So the mobile unit is there, and it is in a permanent place called Jubilee Reach. And so it's a nonprofit place, and they love us there. And so that is our new prayer request, is raising money for that new, and it needs to be quite large. It's not like when you drive around, it stays there. And so that's our prayer, is that we can replace that. Last time I was here, I also asked you for prayer for favor in the community. Not everybody loves us being there, and in Tacoma especially. And I told Charlene, the director there, who's my dear friend, that I would be mentioning them. They're constantly getting vandalized, and this is one of the scenes where they were vandalized again. But the praise is, there's always a church or a business that's right there that day and will come and fix things. And so it's hard for us to see that happening, but at the same time, it's wonderful to see how God provides. And it's good for clients that come in who they see the love that people have for our ministry there. So Tacoma, if you can continue to pray for all of our centers for safety, but especially for Tacoma. We've had a rough year. So looking forward to 2025, we have our Light and Life banquet that's coming up on March 14th. 15th, if you're interested, let me know and I can sit you at my table. Last year we raised $347,000 in this banquet. And people don't realize in running a medical facility, and CareNet is a medical facility that keeps their standards up to the state of Washington. So there's no way they can close us down, because if they close us down, they'll have to close every other doctor's office. We meet their standards, and it can be expensive. And it also can be expensive. The nurse chat that we started, we're paying for that. But from October to December, we saw 10,000 women go through that nurse chat. So it's become very important to us. So Light and Life is one way. The bottle drive, and this is where you guys come in. Sonia is so sweet about this. It is opportunity, I tell people, to teach children how to give. And so at my church, all the families have kids. They have a bottle, and those kids know if they find a penny in the ground or whatever, if they pick it up and they put it in, it's teaching them to give on their level. But what you don't know, that bottle drive last year brought in $150,000. Yes, Sonia, yeah. Every little penny counts. And so we're grateful. She always brings out those bottles up there, and it's always so sweet to see her. This year we're doing a walk for life, and this is new, and it's just it's going to be I think it's at Chambers Bay. It's new. I don't know much about it yet, but getting out in the community. We're walking where people want to know, what are you walking for? You know, and making us known in the neighborhood. This is CareNet, and this is what we do. And we'll have a table out there. So people that walk, and a lot of people walk that, they'll see our table there. Share with them what we have in our ministry. And then the last thing, that fundraiser, is the CareNet golf tournament. And it is so fun, because for me, I'm on the hole that if you hole in one, you win a car or a trip or something. But Christian businesses will sponsor it. And what's neat is they will bring people from their job who aren't necessarily Christians. And so they're coming to golf and have a good time, and it's marvelously done. But they're hearing the gospel as well. We share the gospel, we share about life. And what's so funny is sometimes you get some of those men up there who are very supportive of CareNet, and they're lecturing me on how important CareNet is. Do you know how important this? I think they think I work for the golf place. Yeah, I kind of have an idea. So they're passionate. Those men that are coming, they're golfing, and some women, they are passionate for life. You know, we always talk about ways to get involved, and you know, not everybody can work at a CareNet. I mean, I wanted to, but I didn't for years until my son went away to school. But this year, I'm really pushing our prayer line. So there's so many ways to get involved. If you go to the table, take a card with you. Take a couple cards that you might see somebody might need. But I have a little card for prayer. And what this is when someone comes into our clinic and they leave and we feel like they're abortion minded, we send out a text to our people on our prayer chain and say, pray for this one. Not this one is what we say. And we have hundreds and hundreds of people right away when that text goes out will pray for us. But then we also started another one. They either get that or they get this one chose life. So a woman comes in, she wants an abortion, but she leaves and we feel like, no, she's not. She has made the decision, you know, I thought I was, but I can't. And we'll send out that text that said, this one chose life. And then the last one text that can go out to you is, this one chose eternal life. Because that is our goal, is to present the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is a means in which we are meeting a group of people that our church can never reach. My church could never reach the Muslim community. We don't have Muslims coming through my door, or Hindus, or atheists, or wickets, or anything like that coming through our door. But they come through our door. And so because of this church and other churches, we not only present what they're hungering for, but we're presenting something they don't even realize they're hungering even more for. And that's the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the table, that would be great. And ways to get involved, I would love to talk with you. I do have some little palm cards that are just little square things you can put in your palm. And it has a QR code on it. And it's for any situation a male or female feels like they're in danger or need on it. And it started this way, a little palm card, because sometimes we'll have a woman come in and we feel like she might be in a dangerous or difficult situation and can't share with anybody what's going on. And she can just, and everybody has a phone. They can just click on that QR code and it tells them places of safety to go to, or places that they need, and it's through our website, so there are places that we confirm that are gospel oriented, that will present things to them. And if you ever, even if you see someone in a store and you just feel like you're fearful for them for some reason, just hand in that, say, this might help you. And we'll click on there, and not only will give them places, but it'll share God's truth. And so that's something that I have if you might be interested in one of those. I keep one in my wallet, because I never know what God's going to have for me as I'm going about my day. But I appreciate you letting me share about CareNet. We appreciate you guys. I tell people over, it's our small churches, it's our little churches that seem to give us the biggest support. Sometimes bigger churches are so involved in other things that it's not a real priority. So I'm grateful for this church, my CareNet church, and for your support over the years and your pastor's love for our ministry. I always take a picture of your board back there. Not very many churches have a CareNet bulletin board. And so I take a picture of that and take it back to my team, because it brings them encouragement that there's people out there praying for us, that love us, that understand our ministry, and the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ that we can give them. So thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Good timing, too. Wow. You're better than me. All right, this time we're going to receive a love offering. Chris needs someone else to help.
Already got him.
You already got him, okay.